get it. Danny Heap made a shoestring catch and a great play to take at least a base hit away, maybe more than a single, probably a double. Slider hit into right center field, and Heap a long way to go. He gets there. So 2 ways by Danny Heap, and the Phillies are out in order. And the score at the end of 10, it is the New York Mets 3, and the New York Mets tied up with the Phillies, who have 3.
Bo Diaz, the left-hander for the Mets.
Or Carlos Diaz.
What did I say, Bo?
Yeah, Bo, the catcher of the...
Manager of the New York Mets, Jim Fanning, took over for, I should say, for the Montreal Expos, took over for Bill Bearden, who was manager until just about a month ago. Infield is in, and there's a drive, a great play out of Dan Grayson. How did he catch that ball? And again, he gets in the kitchen of the batter. This one popped up in the shallow center, and a diving try by Giles, and he caught that ball. Did he? No, he didn't.
Here we go to the top of the 7th inning. Mike Torres doing a fine job, and a guy who also does a fine job back for the play-by-play, Ralph Kiner.
Thank you very much, Tim McCarver. Excuse me. The Mets are awaiting the arrival of Keith Hernandez. Let's go downstairs right now as our co-herd Bud Harrelson host, excuse me, Frank Howard.
Well, you'll get it right, Ralph, eventually.
And he hits it out to left field. It's way back. It could be gone. It's going. It is gone. Goodbye. Darryl Strawberry with a love opposite field home run, and the Mets lead 3-2.
Oh, boy.
Dervell, and here's the 2-1 part, and it's 2-2. Parker ejected from last night's ball game for vehemently protesting. Dim Raines with 37 stolen bases, and Mookie with 33. Mookie running, he'll make it, and a good stop on the ball by, I should say, Kendall running. And this ball hit the deep left field. It's way back, going. It is gone. Goodbye. Andre Dawson with a 2-run home run, and the Phillies lead 2-0. The start of the Twins game has been delayed. They're having a home plate ceremony, and Griffith, the owner of the Washington Senators, is selling his 52%, his and his sister's 52% of the team to Carl Pollard. Boy, and that's tradition going away, way away.
And he would only do that, he said, if Pollard agreed to keep the team in Minneapolis, and he has done that. Here's Doug Flynn to lead off the 5th inning for Montreal, and he takes the fastball right in there for strike 1. Flynn hit a line drive into right center that Darryl Strawberry caught up with in the 3rd inning.
Clark Griffith owned the ball club. The adopted son, Calvin Griffith, selling the ball club now. But that Clark, I can't say the word, Jeff Clifford, owned the ball club way back in the early 1900s. He was down throughout baseball, and there's a base hit in the center field. And Santana can't get to it, but he gets over there and makes the catch. So 1 away, and the batter for the Mets will be George Strawberry. I should say George Foster. On the out, a runner goes to third base. Bill Doran there, and the batter will be Jose Cruz. Make that fit. With his 95 home runs, he is 3rd in that department. Mike Smith leads with 110, then Dave Parker with 106. Oh, he goes back to the dugout, and Gary Cooper comes up, and Cooper has been, Carter, I say, has been perfect tonight. He has been movie-like tonight. Perfect.
Yeah, he certainly has.
Time. And the first pitch to Mitchell, lined into right field, deep right field. It's out of here, off the wall. And that would be their best road trip ever in their history. And when do you win a ball game? When you give up 12 hits in a ball game. Sid Fernandez, the winning pitcher in the ball game, gave up 12 hits before he left. Orozco came in and finished out the ball game, a little shaky. Didn't get a save because of the rules. He did not pitch 3 innings, and he came in with out the the on-deck batter being a batter that he would face in his next approach to pitching to the hitter. So the Mets coming up with a victory here, and the San Diego Padres, of course, having their problems. They did.
There goes the runner, and the ball hit into right field. Strawberry there. He's got to play at first base. Samuel didn't know where it was. He was decoyed by Samuel, and they get him at first. What a job by Samuel decoying the ground ball. And Samuel falling for the trick and being doubled off at first. No runs, one hit.
This is a good play, Ralph.
And a little looper over the head of Nettles in the left field. Another run scores as Hernandez gets credit for his single. Tuffle goes to second. Hernandez follows the play, goes to second. And the swing on the fastball, 1 ball, 1 set strike. Siska's tied with Darryl Strawberry for the National League lead in RBIs.
Cal Ripken for Baltimore, 8 home runs.
No, that's his 8th. Right?
Yeah, his 8th home run.
I thought you said 8 home runs today.
No.
And Wally Backman, the batter. Backman batting from the right-hand side now with the left-hander. So the Mets coming up with Backman and Hernandez as left-hand batters. With Backman turning over to the right-hand side as he's a switch hitter. Santana and Hernandez says Goose Goslin. Goose Gossage warms up in the bullpen. And the first pitch to Dwight Gooden is fouled away, strike 1. Well, was one pulled in the World Series by a Cleveland shortstop.
Unassisted triple play?
Lou Boudreau?
No, I'm trying to think of his name. It's a tough name. Wambas Gas or something close to that. It's an old-timer.
We won't forget our dear and good friend Wampas Gas.
Something close to that. That isn't right, but we'll get it. And strike 3. Threatening weather all day long after a beautiful summer yesterday. 2 home runs, 16 runs batted in, and he has hit well lately. And the pitcher for Chicago, Lee Lancaster. Lee has been up 1 time. And now he's been up 2.
And he's 0 for 2.
2-2, the count to Darryl Strawberry. Strawberry, of course, voted into the Hall of Fame for the 4th consecutive year, the first National Leaguer to do that. Voted into the All-Star game, I should say. And the off-speed pitch with Raines running a throw down to second. It's not in time. And Raines has a stolen base.
Mitch Webster on the move, and Gary Carter catching a low curveball with a good strong throw, but not in time to get Webster. And of course, the pitcher hanging on at third base.
For Raines, his 33rd stolen base. Vince Coleman leads the National League with 64.
Now Gary Carter to talk to Mitchell about Raines.
24th consecutive stolen base by Raines. The record is 38 by Davy Lopes. I should say I got that wrong, haven't I? Mitchell stole the base. Raines the batter. And the magic number for the Mets is 10, and you might wonder where that comes from. If the Mets lose any ball games, that number comes down, and so the Mets have a series where they have to win 3, and the Cardinals down the line have to win 4. I should say 4 of their last 6. So that's the way it looks here in Philadelphia. We'll be back with the start of the ball game, a very important ball game, right after these messages. Webster taking over center field. Herm Willingham, former Met player who came in the Carter deal, put on the bench. Well, third base, certainly a reactionary position. You go on reaction, and Howard has quick reactions, and now he takes a lot of time.
As a reactionary, you can either play third base or form your own guerrilla army.
The Cubs, of course, at Wrigley Field, the only team without lights for over all these years. The first team to have lights, the Cincinnati Reds, as you saw Buck Rogers, the manager of the Mets, and part of his team there. And the defense for Perez will be Gagarraga at first base. Top of the 5th, and the Mets lead him 1-0. Here's Roger McDowell and what he has to say about Mother's Day. This ball hit in the air to left field. Easing over is Roger McDowell, and Ojeda works a
2-3 inning. LaPointe saved it by making a good play. High fly ball to deep center, way back. Wilson to the fence, and he makes the catch. Pardon me, it is a home run as Wilson goes down to the ground. I thought he caught it. On September 30th, when the Mets battled the St. Louis Cardinals at 7:35 p.m., the Mets will award one lucky fan a beautiful 1889 Nissan 240SX SE Fastback courtesy of Nissan Motors. And there are tickets for that game on September 30th. So come out to Shea Friday night. And said Bream is trying to get Drabek's attention. The first baseman for the Pirates, and he's playing about a step behind the batter, trying to get some more defensive room against Darryl Strawberry. And the fastball for a ball. And the Mets will be hitting against former Dodger pitcher Jay Howell. And he gets a good swing at that one. Hits it to deep left center field. It's way back. Going, and it is off of the wall and gone goodbye. And the slider hit down the right side and a base hit. Pardon me. It is not a base hit. Galarraga. So that ends the inning. Now Mark Carey on the batter, and Mark hits it deep to left field, way back. It's going. It is gone. Goodbye. No, off of the wall. The score at the end of 5.5 innings. Houston 7, the New York Mets 3. Greg Jeffries has gone in the ball game to take over third place with Howard Johnson going out of the game and a new pitcher for the Mets. And now 0-3 to Mookie Wilson. Another manager that would be considered would be Buck Rogers of Montreal, but I don't believe if things stay the way they are, he would get it because he's been helped out by good management up on top, acquiring 2 good left-handed pitchers. Maybe 1 great left-handed pitcher. Mark Langston, the other Zane Gray. And this ball hit the deep right center field. It is way back, going, and it is off the wall. It is caught. I'm sorry about that. I thought it was off of the wall. It was caught out there in right field by Vaughn Hayes, who made a spectacular play. And they had a total of 13 hits. 3 of the hits by the Texaco star of the game, Roberto Salomar, and actually 4 of the hits by Salazar. He was the Texaco star of the ball game. Mark Drabek, the pitcher, record went 5 innings, was charged with 3 runs, but gave up only 2 hits, 2 of them home runs. Doug Drabek was the winning pitcher. And Orlando Pena is the, not Orlando, Alejandro Pena is the man the Mets have out there that they picked up from the Dodgers. I think he'll look forward to it. And we'll be back with a recap right after this word from Tropicana. And the Reds have won the first game of this 4-game series. The Mets winning the first 2, and the Reds winning here in today's ball game. There's a ball hit long but foul down the right field line. No, fair ball. It is fair, and it is out of here.
Jackson was traded for Ted Power and Kurt Stillwell. Those 2 going to Kansas City. Marge Shaw had a reaction to the trade. The Reds were struggling that year after trading Stillwell, and she referred to Stillwell while the Reds were struggling as my little darling. So I guess she was against the trade.
Marge Jackson is a strange one.
This ball hit deep to left field, long back there, going, and it is off the wall, and now McReynolds down to second base and holding there. So Doug Sis back in the major leagues with the Atlanta Braves. He was sold to Atlanta, or traded to Atlanta by the Mets. This ball hit deep to right field. It's way back, going, and it is caught by... No, it's out of the ballpark. A 2-run home run by Mackey Sasser, and the Mets are on the scoreboard. And the Mets with the go-ahead run at second as Howard Johnson picks up his 55th and 52nd runs batted in, and Mackey Sasser the batter. And now the Mets are setting up Tom Foley as a pinch hitter. Tom O'Malley as a pinch hitter. He has reached first base. He got there in the walk. He chops it out to second. A try for 2 and a great play by Oquendo to pick up the out as a run scores. And here comes the pitching coach,
Dobson. No, that's not Pat. That is Knowles. Dickie Knowles. No, not Dickie. Get him, Darrell Knowles. Runner goes. The pitch is swung on and hit to shallow, fairly deep right field. Should not say shallow. Pat Tabler under it, and he makes the catch.
Well, hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Kiner, along with David Cohen and later on Bob Murphy. Tim McCarver is doing another ball game today, and it's the Mets against the Cubs. And, David, it looks like the Mets are with their back to the wall.
Well, it has certainly not been a good stretch for New York. Mets went home, won 4 in a row, then lost 4 out of 5, and now they've got to win this thing on the road.
And as we stand around here, we will be back right after this message from Budweiser.
Ground ball to the first base side. Fielded by Jordan. He'll take it to the pitcher. And on the play at first base, Elster scores from third, and the Mets are leading. Make that out number 3, and that's it.
So you got to cross those big bridges. I'm not too good on those bridges, Ralph. You know that.
That Golden State Bridge, at one time the largest single expansion bridge in the world.
Interesting pitching matchup tonight. If there's a problem for, I guess, either pitcher, Ralph, it would come early on.
Well, first of all, Ivan De Jesus is a fellow, should say Ivan De Jesus. Jose De Jesus is a fellow who has beaten the Mets 3 times. And this one is gone. Goodbye. Hector Villanova with a long home run, and the Cubs lead 5-1. Batting third in left field, Kevin McReynolds, the June player of the year for the New York Mets. Batting in the 4th position at third base, Howard Johnson, their all-star representative, along with Frank Viola. Batting 5th and playing right field, Hubie Brooks with a monstrous home run in last night's ball game. Batting 6th and catching Mackie Sasser back in as the starting catcher. Shea Stadium, and it's the Mets against the Houston Astros, and the Astros coming into this series leading the Mets in the 9 games played by winning 5 of the 4 games. I'm Ralph Kiner along with Russ D. Staub as our colleague, and here's Fran Healy.
Yes, I'll tell you, Ralph, we were all tangled up with wires. That's why we're a little bit out of sync here. But anyways,
I'm Ralph Kiner, along with Tim. And Tim, what's your last name?
McCarver.
Mets leave in total of 5-minute scoring position, and the final score, the Mets 3 and the Mets 2. We'll be back with a recap after this word from Bud Light. 2 men away, and Chuck Finley, the batter. He has one of the 2 hits in this game, a double back in the 1st inning. There's a strike, and that pitch fouled off. 2-2.
He would be a perfect potential guest for KINER'S Corner when they're in Pittsburgh.
We'll interview him in Russian.
I think that would be a perilous approach for you.
How would you like some fishy swans? That's about it. The only qualification I have.
Wait a minute now. Is Vichyssoise Russian?
Sure it is.
It's French, isn't it?
No.
Vichyssoise? Vichyssoise, O-I-S-E, schwa.
Potato soup, whatever you want to call it, and a fly ball to right field dropping in for Howard, and he is getting some base hits now. Talking about him hitting the Mets well in his regular season play, he has done that, but he also hit 300 against the Mets in the 56 World Series. 86 World Series.
Here's Ralph.
Okay, Tim, and Willie Randolph will lead it off for the Mets. Randolph hit by a pitch back in the 5th inning. It came with the bases loaded, and it almost got him in the head. Whew. They got a Met run in, but Randolph apparently able to stay in the lineup, even though that hand seems to be bothering him. You just saw him shake it right there. And Mel Stoudemire, I'm sure, threw many, many 200-pitch innings in his major league career, which was a great one. 200-pitch innings are not that tough. 1 strike to count. That's my opinion.
I understand, Ralph.
Nobody's writing this on paper. He could very easily be the pitcher of the year for the month of July. And checking out the Toyota American League scoreboard, no score, Baltimore playing at home against, should say Baltimore playing against the Yankees at home, and it's no score in the bottom of the 2nd.